And again, on the next one, we're doing the composition of trigonometric functions type 3. Notice again, we're in radian measures. And so I've got to use my chart, my table here, in order to look up my values on here. This one you could probably do by drawing the reference triangle, but that one's, again, one of your common ones. And when you do those, you're either going to have your 30, 60, 90 triangle or your 45, 45, 90 triangle, or be right on the axis at 0, 90, 180, or 360. So we're going to just go ahead and use our tables when we figure this one out. So we're going to start off by looking up what the sine of 2 pi is. So I can get my board to stay where I want it to be. When we flip back and forth, we might find what we want. Sine of 2 pi. 2 pi is going to be way on the bottom. 2 pi. My sine is 0. So, going back over here, I want to find the inverse tangent of 0 then. So, inverse tangent of 0, keeping in mind that I want my answer to be between negative pi over 2 and positive pi over 2. 2 pi is not between there, so I can't have that same thing. Plus, I'm doing tangent. So I'm doing the tangent of 0. I want it to be in quadrant 1 or quadrant 4 if I do the negative. So I'm going to go back over here, up here in quadrant 1, if I check my tangent being 0 is 0, so my answer is going to be 0. So in this case, I just get 0. Number 17, we are doing the cosine of pi over 4. So looking over here, cosine of pi over 4, I've got to move my table. Pi over 4, my cosine is square root of 2 over 2. So I am then going to do the inverse sine of square root of 2 over 2. That's a positive value. Since it's positive, we're going to be looking in quadrant 1. So, looking in quadrant 1 for the sine being square root of 2 over 2, we get pi over 4. So pi over 4 happens to be my answer. And one last one there, number 18. If I move the board up to number 18, we are doing the inverse cosine of square root of 2 over 2. Again, this is positive, so we're looking in quadrant 1. So, square root of 2 over 2, it was positive. Let me look for sure. Yes, it was positive. Square root of 2 over 2 in quadrant 1 would be pi over 4. So now we are going to do the tangent of pi over 4. So going back to our table, pi over 4, if I look to see what the tangent is equal to 1. 1 is going to be my answer then. So, print this out, keep it handy. You're going to use it for a lot of problems. Sometimes you can draw the reference triangles, but if it's the common ones, and especially if you notice they're using radian measure in there, then you want to use this table here. Do again, be careful if you get an answer like 300 degrees that you make it the negative. So 5 pi over 3 would be negative pi over 3 instead.